Season 2 of the Pat and JT podcast.
Oh man, I'm here at last. The best time, always gonna be the best. Come on!
Exclusively on the Hurrdat Media Network.
All right.
So Tuesday was my lovely wife's birthday. December 28th.
3 days after Christmas.
3 days after Christmas, yes. So we went out and we had some burgers, met the kids and had burgers and went out to the Skybox and whatever and had a couple cocktails. It's so awesome being able to text your kids and say, hey, if you guys want to go out, meet us at a place. Bennett was too busy. Couldn't make it. But he did call Beth and said that he ate lunch for her at Cheeseburgers and had a shake for her.
In her honor.
In her honor, yes. So it was nice. Then we went home and like the party ended at 6 o'clock.
That was it.
It was it. We were like I'm like, we can go out and have drinks after? It's like, no, the couch is fine for me.
Let's go party.
Like,
yeah.
Nope. So we went home,
Good.
Watched. We're running out of stuff to watch. I mean, none of our shows are new episodes till next week. So we're starting to dig into the Netflixes and Hulus and stuff, and finally started watching the Sex and the City reboot.
Oh, yeah.
Beth was a huge Sex and the City fan, so this is our first chance to watch it. Everybody been talking about the reboot, and especially the first episode where, sorry, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it,
We
but
talked
Big
about
died.
this, though.
Yeah.
It's okay. On the Peloton.
He died. See, and that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that he while he's trucking, he died on the Peloton. He died after the Peloton. And what was not funny about it, but what was just so weird is that so he goes to start getting in the shower and he's left arm pain, whatever, and drops his phone and then like collapses on the floor. But he's alive. He's still moving around. Carrie gets home, finds him. He looks up at her, like sees her, makes eye contact with her, and John runs in there and he's still alive. And she never tries CPR, never tries to call 911. She just hugs him in the shower.
Hugs him to death.
It's like, I think she wanted him to die. But she didn't even do CPR at all. Nothing.
I mean, the first thing she should have done. I mean,
Something.
seriously, it should have been called 911.
Right.
Immediately.
Right.
You see him like that.
Yeah. She's
No
hugging him
question.
in the shower, water's still going down, hugging him. And it's like, what?
So she killed him.
Basically.
Okay.
And then
that's the real story.
And the
here.
last words of the episode were, and so that's how Big died. Boom. End of it. It was just so weird. It was so weird.
So is it worth? I guess I was never a huge fan of the show to begin with, and I think the best character isn't there, right?
Samantha.
Kim Cattrall?
Yeah, Samantha.
Kim Cattrall, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, she's not in it. She's working abroad.
Yeah, because
So-
there was some kind of a dispute.
Yeah, so she's not, I mean, it was okay. It was good. If you're a fan, everybody's back. Everybody's back except for her. It was kind of fun.
She was
So
my
we'll see.
favorite character of the four. To me, she was the funniest one. She was the yeah.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
sassy, and I liked her.
But it was good. I mean, if you like Sex and the City, it's worth it watching it. So
to watch Big Die.
yeah, it's just weird. And if you guys have watched it too, and let me know what you think on that one, because I think Carrie, if she had tried CPR at all, and I mean, we watched that 911 show, whatever, they talk you through it, Carrie.
No, they do. They can help. They could have helped. And his phone was right there.
Right there. He had just texted her. Phone's right there.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good to know, because I was curious how that really did go down, because I was never going to watch it. So
Yeah,
I'm glad you did.
I gotcha. Yeah.
I came across something yesterday, really weird. Every once in a while, this pops in my head. There was a book that I read as a kid. And I'm going to say early teenager. I used to read everything, right? I was just like, I would read encyclopedias. I would read anything I could get my hands on. And there was a 13, 14, maybe year old, 14, somewhere in there is what I was when I read this book. I couldn't remember the name of it. All I knew was I remember the visual that it planted in my head that it was. And I'm just curious if anybody else, because once I found this yesterday, and then I found a thread on this on some forum somewhere, and all the comments were like exactly the same things that I was thinking. You remember there are some teenagers who are it was basically a psychological test is what it ended up being, but it was stairs and platforms, no walls, no floor, no ceiling, and a machine that would feed them if they did the right things. It was like testing them and training them, and finally found it. It's called House of Stairs, and it first came out probably 60 years ago. I don't know. I mean, it's been out, but it's been republished several times. I think the most recent publishing was maybe 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. But anyway, I finally found, I want to see this movie. There's no way they can make the movie as good as this book is, though.
That's the case with everything.
It's right. Mm-hmm. I mean, seriously, because it has left such an impression. In reading some of the comments that the people left, it obviously did that to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. It really left an impression, because it basically was, they had to make a funny face, and the machine would give them food. Then it stopped working. Then they had to dance, and it would give them food. What? And then it stopped working.
I'm learning a lot about
argue.
Building a JT. Now I understand what's behind. Good Lord, what an anxiety! Psychological, just anxiety.
And it's meant for young teenagers. I think it's a little heavy.
Yeah, you think?
And somebody said it was actually meant for people that are or kids that are 9 to 12. And I'm like, Jesus, no. No, that's way too young. That would be way too young, because that's just crazy stuff. But I've never forgotten that but I couldn't remember the stupid name of it. And it's so easy, because it's House of Stairs.
House of Stairs.
House of Stairs.
Yeah.
That's all it is. I think that's about the same time. Is it Algernon, Flowers for Algernon?
The mouse?
Yeah.
So I don't remember. I remember
something
reading that
like
book.
that. I remember, I used to, But anyway, so I was glad to find that.
Okay.
So I got that taken care of.
What a weird book for kids.
I know. But it pops in my mind every once in a while. I'm like, dang it. And I could never find it, because I wasn't describing it right or something. And then yesterday, boom, there it was. And then I also found the follow-up, because I know we touched on this yesterday, talking about the crazy lady on the airplane.
Yeah, the Delta flight lady.
Yes. And Delta Karen, also called Airline Annie. She has all kinds of names. Patricia Cornwall is her name.
Okay.
So I sent you her name.
Yeah, found it.
And she has quite the colorful story. Let alone just what happened on the plane. You mentioned a couple of the things too. I mean, that she intentionally spit on this guy.
Yeah, and hit him in the face, punched him.
She did. She was mad because he took his mask off to eat, and so she went at him with her mask off.
Are you new here? Are you new to the whole COVID thing? If everybody's following the mask, whatever's, you can take your mask off to eat. Are you just get off a boat where you don't know that that's doable? I don't get why this lady lost her S off on this one dude.
She did. Well, apparently there was a hint of alcohol on her breath.
Shocker.
And she's had a couple other brushes with the law, a couple DUIs, failed sobriety tests here and there that also had happened. She was arrested a few years ago on a couple other instances, and also resisting, which I didn't see that coming at all.
No, right? That's the brand.
But yes, she was a former NFL cheerleader for the Raiders.
Okay.
She was a former Playboy bunny at some point, and she was on Baywatch.
She was.
And I thought, okay, Baywatch, let me look that up. You found that.
I found that somebody had tweeted about it. She was on season 7, episode 2, called The Contest.
That counts as being on Baywatch.
Yeah. I mean, she was on Baywatch. It doesn't say how. It's one episode, so it's just a guest spot.
We don't know if she had words. Did she have lines?
She played somebody named Petra. Her mouth is open. So in these shots, these pictures from the set or whatever, from the scene, she looks as if she may be talking.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So apparently they said that this one-time NFL cheerleader for the Los Angeles Raiders has been hit with several federal charges because of the mid-flight tirade. We talked about that too. They were eating, so they were in flight. The fracas, they say, began when she asked a flight attendant with a beverage cart that was blocking the aisle for help finding her seat. And the flight attendant...
So she must have been popped. If they're up in the air and she's already been sitting for a while, she can't find her seat, she was hammered.
I believe she was, because then she popped off right away before she even met this guy. The flight attendant asked her to find a vacant seat, please, until the beverage service was complete, to which she snapped, "Who am I, Rosa Parks?"
What does it even mean?
What does that even mean?
What does that even mean?
It was basically asking for it. She was trying to start something.
What am I, that doesn't even make any sense.
And they said that a man...
What am I, Rosa Parks?
Apparently this man that she barked at, he objected to what she said somehow, but and that's when she became violent. And she was violent to the flight attendant. And then she yelled at him for not wearing a mask, even though she didn't have hers on. And the man then told her, this isn't a bus. And then the exchange of insults go back and forth, and she showered him with some. But he came right back, too. But he didn't hit her.
No, he did. I don't even think he stood up. He just sat there.
He just sat there, and she slapped him.
And I love that after she did hit him, he goes, well, now you're going to jail because that's assault.
That's assault. He was just waiting for it because she was just
and I love that she screams at him to put his mask on with her mask down under her chin like a diaper.
Put on your bleeping mask.
Yeah, you effing piece of ass.
Bleeping piece of ass.
Like what? What am I, Rosa Parks? I just don't get it.
So anyway, we found the rest of that story.
Yeah.
And that was worth it.
That was, oh my God.
I don't understand. Unfortunately, I guess, really, there haven't been that many instances of this because everyone shows up in the news, right? In the grand scheme of how many flights there actually are. So probably not many people have been.
Well, okay, so I saw a stat on this. It was the day after this news came out, and I was watching, I don't remember, ABC or whatever, and they did instances over the last year on airlines, and how many of those, I think there was, I'm rounding, but it was like 5,000. And of those, how many of them involved masks? It was like 4,350.
I was going to say 5,002.
It was right. It was like almost I'd say 80% involved masks of some kind.
Incredible.
It is incredible.
Incredible. So I think it was, and we did talk about this on the last episode too, but in the middle of the pandemic, they were reassuring people about flying because the filtration system is so effective. And you didn't have any reports of people contracting or getting infected on planes from that contact in the plane because and that was even when I think they had one empty row. So you weren't right next to everybody. And that went away. It's just like 6 feet became 3. It's like 10 days became 5. It's just
kind of whatever.
Just shoulder to shoulder. What the hell? Because
like you never know. Somebody could have gotten infected on a plane. You don't know for days.
You don't know where anybody does.
You don't know. And you don't know why some people do, why some people don't. Beth was at a work party a few weeks ago, and someone there had tested negative a couple days before a home test, and ended up testing positive 5 or 6 days after the party, and 2 or 3 people that were at the party tested positive. They were all doing the same thing, the same distance from each other. So if that person didn't go back and get tested, they would think, well, I don't know where I got it. Like, you don't know where you get it. Exactly. You have no clue.
Exactly. You don't because it is airborne.
I would love to see a Karen in real life, like one of these on a plane. I would just love to see that.
You'd be the guy with your phone, standing 3 rows away, hold your phone up.
I don't default to record. I need to start doing that more. I don't default to videoing people.
Either.
So I would be the guy that after it's all done, go, dang, babe, did you record that? Yeah, I would love to see that.
Because I'm too engrossed in what's happening, and I don't think to get my phone out.
No, I just riveted.
Yeah. So anyway, there's that.
That's a good one.
That's pretty much what I did yesterday.
Yeah. You researched
Airline Annie
that
and
scary
House of Stairs
preteen book.
I'm just curious if anybody else has read it, if anybody else remembers it. You obviously don't because you didn't read it.
No. I did read Flowers for Algernon because I had to in school.
Oh, okay.
That's why I knew it was a mouse.
I'm impressed you.
Fine, that's it.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Is that the one about the mouse?
Yeah, that's all I remember.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember for sure, but I know it was in that same era that I read both of these books.
Okay.
I'm just curious.
Totally different themes. Completely. FYI.
Yes.
So thank you guys for listening to our podcast. Make sure you're following us on social. It's Pat and JT.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Hurrdat Media Production.